Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I'm Taya Salam.
A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today on the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. All right, let's start you off with the news making the rounds from this part of the world. Let's tell you about the biggest event that happened yesterday. Rivers Angels, seven-time champions in the Nigeria Women Professional Football League. They defeated Conference Queens on the strength of that. Conference Queens 1-0, and on the strength of that, they are the champions in the Nigeria Women Premier League.
Congratulations to Rivers Angels, perennial champions. 7 times now they've won the Nigeria Women's Professional Football League. That is simply remarkable. Also on the show, still talking football on the domestic front. Enyimba International and Rangers have advanced into the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup after, impressive results, you say, in the second leg matches yesterday. For Enyimba, they went to South Africa, won 2-1 to seal a 4-1 aggregate victory, while for Rangers, they won 1-0 in Enugu over Akara, and that was enough to see them through to the group stage as well.
All right, good one for Nigeria. 2-2. That's how it turned out. 2 teams still in the CAF Confederations Cup, now in the lucrative group stage. Just to add that the draws will be conducted in Cairo on November 10. We look forward to the opponents our teams will have. Let's move on and talk about something that happened in the United States. This man in your picture gradually closing in on Michael Schumacher. Lewis Hamilton seals his 6th title in Formula One. Valtteri Bottas won in Austin, Texas, but Lewis Hamilton is the world champion.
You can say that again. So the champagne is no longer on ice, as you can clearly see in your picture. It's been popped, and Lewis Hamilton is celebrating his 6th Formula One world title. That's just remarkable, and that's where we have to start the show off today. And it was all about the United States Grand Prix over the night, where Lewis Hamilton just needed to finish 8th in the in that particular race to eventually win the title, and he actually did a lot better than finishing 8th. But we'll come to Lewis in a bit now. Let's start off with the Channels under 17 track and field classics, which is just around the corner. We're counting down to that tournament, and we can't wait for it to start. It's 9 days to go, and believe me, all the kids are champion of the beats to feature in the 2nd edition.
All right. 9 days to go. Just keep it in your diary and know that the biggest under 17 track and field event is about to happen. Let's quickly, serve you a reminder of the dates to remember and the events that this aspiring athletes will participate in. November 7th, a few days from now, the press conference to herald the 2nd edition of the event. On November 13th, the arrival of athletes and registration, and of course, day 1 of the track and field event begins in earnest. On November 14th, the finals of the track and field events will hold. There's going to be presentation of medals and certificates to participating schools. Those are the dates to remember. Keep it in your memory. Come support the participating schools. If you have your alma mater in there, just come around, come and see what your school is doing.
Exactly. That is the essence. Come around and show support to these under 17 track and field athletes. It's going to be remarkable. I have no doubt about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the guys will do this time around. So 13 and 14, those are the most important dates. 13, they're going to arrive and they're going to take to the tracks. And 14 is going to be where all the finals will be held. So we're looking forward to it. Of course, we're going to be giving you more information as we count down to the 2nd edition of the Channels under 17 track and field classics. Let's leave that now and go to the National Basketball Association, where a series of games are played yesterday night, stroke this morning, and we have the results for you. We're going to run through them quickly, and you get to see some of your favorite basketballers, what they were up to last night. Let's start up with a matchup between the Dallas Mavericks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was not Cleveland Cavaliers. The Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers at 131 to 111. And in this particular game, Luka Doncic had a second straight triple-double and his third of the season in that victory. So the young man is playing incredible basketball. We saw him as a rookie last year. He's basically carried on from where he left off. And I don't think this has come as a surprise to anyone that has followed Luka Doncic.
A lot of people are expecting big things from the guy. Even on his debut season, he wowed us with some of his performances. So we'll see. There's still a lot to come. So I'm not really surprised that he's hitting it at this level. Fantastic
result there for the Dallas Mavericks. Elsewhere, it was the Indiana Pacers defeating the Chicago Bulls 108 to 95, despite being short-handed in that particular game. T.J. Warren scored a season-high 26 points in that victory. The Knicks lost again. This time, it was to the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox was the top scorer in that game, scoring 24 points for Sacramento, and they've now won 2 games in a row after they started the season 0-5. So it seems they're starting to find their feet.
Turning the tide.
Exactly, so good one for the Sacramento Kings. We also saw action between the Houston Rockets and the Miami Heat, and it ended 129 to 100 in favor of Miami. Jimmy Butler scoring 18 points and dishing out 9 assists in that particular victory. In this particular game, something remarkable happened. In the first quarter, the Miami Heat led 59 to 18. That's one of the most one of the biggest margins
you can ever see, yeah.
In NBA history. I've never seen a margin like that in the first quarter, 59 to 18. And of course, they only just needed to, manage the game henceforth onwards, and that's exactly what they did to get a 29-point victory over the Houston Rockets. James Harden scored 29 for the Rockets, while Russell Westbrook was held to just 10 points. The Clippers and the Jazz also faced off, and it was Kawhi Leonard's big fourth quarter that lifted the Clippers past the Utah Jazz 105 to 94. Last but not the least, the neighbors of the Clippers, that's the Lakers, defeated the San Antonio Spurs 103 to 96. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were the star players expectedly of that game. Davis with a 25 points, 11 rebounds, double-double. The Clippers, the Lakers started off on fire.
On the roll.
5-1 now, 5 wins, just the 1 loss against the Clippers on opening nights. And Lakers fans are starting to dream, and you can understand why. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in the last 6-7 years. And now it's looking like...
After a couple of acquisitions.
Exactly. Now it's looking like they might actually be title contenders. I know it's still very early. A lot can still happen. 82 games in a season. So things can happen. Injuries can happen. Lots of them can happen. But
and you need your 2 guys, to be playing well at the same time.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about, in past few games, we're talking about Anthony Davis. Now LeBron pops up with a triple-double. It shows you the reason why the fans will be expecting a lot.
Of course, they have to expect a lot, and the team is doing very, very well. In that particular game as well, Dwight Howard kind of rolled back the years. For the Lakers. He used to be Superman before. He's no longer Superman now, but he can still play a bit of basketball. 14 points and 13 rebounds.
Still got some minutes in him.
Exactly. 13 points and 14 points and 13 rebounds in that game. And it was 7 for 7 from the field. So it was perfect. Didn't miss any shots whatsoever. Take a ball wherever you are, Dwight Howard. Let's talk about our standout performers over the nights now. And it's not surprised that you find Luka Doncic on this list. That's because, like we said earlier, he recorded the second triple-double, third of the season in the Dallas Mavericks win over the Cavaliers, 29, 14, and 15. LeBron James is also, amongst our top performer on the night, 21, 11, and 13. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, doing the work without Paul George, was still injured, 30.6 rebounds and 3 assists for the Clippers in their win over the Utah Jazz. That's it for the NBA. Now let's move on to tennis. You hear me?
We'll go to Paris.
We'll go to Paris.
Talk about Novak Djokovic doing what he had to do. I feel sorry a little for Nadal, but as we have to forget that it happened. Injury is part of sports.
Yeah, sure.
But Novak sent a warning to everybody that was watching. I'm back. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ahead of the World Tour finals, and came up a guy who's not experienced on that level, if you ask me. Dennis Shapovalov, not really experienced.
That
on
was
that
his
level.
first Masters 1000 final.
And you're looking at a guy who's
won it
35.
4 times.
I mean, in general, you know, look at the ATP titles, career Masters title that he's had, and he's winning that tournament for the 5th time.
Djokovic is now added 1,000 points. That's to the ATP Race to London points tally. Is now on 8,945. That's just 640 behind Rafael Nadal, who is now the world #1. So that battle that we talked about at the start of this competition is going to go down to the wire because Novak Djokovic, by winning this competition, has closed the gap on Nadal, who unfortunately pulled out of his own semi-final because of injury.
But when the ATP rankings come out today, Nadal is. But the good thing for Novak is it is closed down the gap, and that desire to end the year as world #1, everything's still in order.
It's going down to the wire. Let's listen to the man of the moment, the 5-time Paris Masters champion Novak Djokovic. Of course, is very delighted to have won again.
Yeah, it was a great tournament for me. I haven't dropped a set. I played really well, especially in the last three matches. I thought as the tournament progresses, I'm feeling more comfortable, more confident on the court, playing better. Yes, I mean, I've been feeling great, as I said, very confident throughout the entire week, especially in the last 3 days. I mean, that gives me a lot of encouragement coming into the World Tour finals in London. You know, I have a week now to rest, get ready, and hopefully have another great tournament there.
All right, Novak Djokovic, 5-time Paris Masters champion. This guy's won a lot in his career. 16 majors, has won several other titles as well. Next to the major is the ATP Masters 1000 event, and you can see he's also closing the gap on Rafael Nadal in that situation as well. So 34 for Nadal, 35 for Nadal, 34 for Novak Djokovic. So this guy's the rivalry is going to go on for a long time until they perhaps retire. Roger Federer is second, a distant third with 28 ATP Masters 1000 title. Andre Agassi, of course, is retired. Is stuck on 17, while Andy Murray is on 14. And Andy Murray, don't bet your money against Andy Murray actually winning a couple more ATP Masters 1000 titles before he retires. Okay, so that's it for the Paris Masters. We're still talking tennis, but this time we're going to Shenzhen in China for the WTA finals. That was held yesterday as well too, and it was a final between defending champion Elena Svitolina taking on the world #1 and Australian Open champion Ashley Barty. She won the final. That was the Australian Open final. Then that's when people started to take her really serious. That okay, this girl, she might just be something special. So congratulations to Ashley Barty, the WTA finals champion, winning on her debut, which even makes it more remarkable.